I see a slight delay in your
It's fine. We're live now. You're gonna see a delay.
All right.
We are now live. It's 1 o'clock. Welcome to Warrior Class.
Where the teachers whip ass. And you will too.
If you pass.
All right.
All right. So we are now in the report card episode. We're gonna be looking at, because many of you I know are interested in taking self-defense in your town and everything. So we're gonna look at different arts and grade them A, B, C, D, F, and to give you an analysis, okay, for why you should take these arts, why you might want to, explore these, why not? Because you may think, okay, I got the so-and-so art down the street, I can just take that. Martial arts is martial arts. No, it's not. Don't tell me, well, Bruce Lee said a kick is a kick, a punch is a punch. I can say a dog is a dog. But you take a Chihuahua up against my dog, which is a German Shepherd, or against my nephew's dog, which is a Cane Corso, which has the hardest bite of any dog on earth.
Piece of color.
His dog is close to, his bite is close to the bite of a crocodile, which is an incredible bite. A Chihuahua is not going to bite like a Cane Corso.
Right.
So it's not a punch. A kick is a kick. A punch is a punch. It's false. No. Because some arts, they just made up punches because they didn't have punches in their art originally.
Good point.
So we're going to look at these things and see if they, what their value is for self-defense. Now, we're not saying this martial art just sucks. But if they're in the F category, it's for self-defense. They're in the F category.
Yeah, I wanted to make that clear too, Barbara, that this is about on the highest level, like against the highest threat, not just a guy that don't know anything, but against the highest threat, how effective this is, so people understand that.
If you train, why even train to protect yourself against just the regular Joe?
And it's crazy people get that thought in their head. They'd be like, well, if you're somebody don't know nothing.
Instructors teach that. You go out there, this will beat any old regular Joe.
They ain't gonna know that. They ain't gonna know that.
Right. That dude is saying that because he has no experience with protecting himself. And so he just saying shit. He don't even know if his shit work. So he's telling you, oh, this will work against any old Joe. Well, damn, anything will work against any old Joe, to be honest.
Right.
Train for somebody that is a professional killer. And then, of course, plain old Joe covered, the professional fighter covered, and that professional killer's covered. Does that make sense? So, let's just make sure we're using sense when we do these things. And yes, and peace, Okada. We are talking about self-defense, what's its value. Because I tell you, for me, I love karate forms. Oh, man.
Right. I love katas.
The Sanshin form, that guy looks good. Oh, my God, it looks good. But the time you're doing a form, as far as self-defense, you could be learning how to defend yourself practically, okay? So, love karate, but as far as its value for self-defense, we have to examine that. Okay? And I'm not saying I wouldn't give karate, and you'll see, I wouldn't give karate an F by a long shot for self-defense. But there are some arts that, they get that F. So we're going to get started. Any news?
Yeah, so I'm gonna go through just a little bit here. Some things that I noticed in the news. One thing was, it's funny how I just want to mention how you know, on these social media pages, or apps or whatever, they have your anniversary or last year or 3 years ago or 5 years ago on this day, what you post or whatever. I just thought it was funny. Last year around this time, I was posting not this time, sorry, 2016. It was a bunch of gun shows, and around this time I was posting a bunch of posts about non-essential items that people getting around this time of the year. When take the time out, get you, some MREs. I posted a bunch of different things, water purifiers and straws you could use, and those got the least likes of any post I ever posted on social media history.
Wow.
I just think it's funny to look back now and see how I reposted them, and of course they get all type of likes now because everybody's on it now. And so I just thought that was funny. But I also want to talk about, man, we spoke last week. I talked about the incident that happened to me. If you didn't hear about that, please go back and check that out. About the climate, how I felt like the climate is getting really crazy right now. And another example of that is this prosecutor. I'm watching this. I get this post. It's about a parent that's get charged with manslaughter after her son. I don't really know.
Both parents are getting charged. Yes.
Right. Because they stepson, did he actually go through with the school shooting? You saw this?
Oh yeah. He shot 11 people, killed 3 of them.
And the thing, and so they get in court, and she reveals this text, the prosecutor, the judge read, where the mom is laughing, LOL, and says, "I'm not mad at you. You just got to learn not to get caught." And that blew my whole head wide open right there. I mean, of course, you're going to always say you shouldn't be surprised, but to communicate that in that fashion, that's a different type of family. I know right there. That's I always say our evil and our enemy's evil, 2 different things. We won't ever understand that.
And that's what you train for. People out there like that, that's not your average Joe.
No doubt.
Not your average Joe.
Right. Yeah. He got his parents back. No telling what he's been doing since a child. Early. Well, he is a child.
He's a child.
But, exactly from early on. No telling what he's learned, what he's seen. And yeah, man, we just got to be prepared. We got to be prepared. I had somebody argue with me yesterday, when I post that same post I showed when I posted MREs, the rations, and then you slide again, I got knives. You slide again, I got firearms. The brother post, the brother said, "Oh man, this is a great post, but what about the farming and what about the farmland? What we gonna eat? We just can't eat bullets." I didn't say nothing. I never said. People feel so challenged because they know where they weak at.
And people nowadays, the internet has made people think they have the right to just say anything with no thought, no analysis. I don't know shit, but I'm going to say this to this person who seems to be an expert. But I don't know shit. But instead of sitting learning, I got to say something.
Social media.
Now, it's cool to say something, but not to be challenging. Like this person made a mistake, or let me throw this in. It's like that time I posted for a long time. People weren't saying nothing on the African Martial Arts Institute Instagram. Then I posted one of the sisters doing technique.
Oh my gracious!
And then all these old thirsty brothers jumping in. No, see, the way you should do, that's why I posted after. I was like, oh, now here come all the experts now, because they want to impress the sister like they know something. Still don't know what they're talking about. Now they're going to get embarrassed because they ran to people who know what they're talking about and are willing to say you don't know what you're talking about because our people's lives are that important. I have that policy. I don't tear up no brother or sister online. You ain't gonna see me arguing with brothers or sisters, except if you say something when it comes to the safety of our people. Now I got to say something because lives are on the line.
There you go.
You done brought that part of me out, which I stopped doing in the beginnings of the internet. I used to tear up mugs. You know, when we were in South Carolina, Mama G told you what I do when the dude, you know, threatened her on there, what I did. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That was me. But then I said, no, I'm not gonna, because I'm not gonna be tearing up a brother or sister for the entertainment of white folks or ignorant black folks or whoever. Right. But don't say a wrong technique or something. People are paying attention and they thinking you know what you do. Like the dude Dust, Detroit, whatever. He's from Detroit. The dude that's all over now, the kind of heavy set brother teaching.
If you see my Instagram, you see me pick at him.
And it's gonna get and people say, well, and I'm not so much that's gonna get people killed. We don't know if it'll get people killed because in order to know that, it'll have to get people killed. And if it gets people killed, they ain't telling us because they dead. But what we do know is what he's teaching is very dangerous. It's irresponsible. It's irresponsible. And it's clear the brother don't know what the hell he's doing. That's clear to us.
It's clear to people who don't even know martial arts looking at him and laughing.
Many obviously think he knows what he's doing, or he wouldn't keep making posts.
No, that's true. You know, people, I mean, like street folks that be out in the street, you know, with all this gun stuff he got. It's regular street folks be like, man, get out of here, man.
Well, they know, I mean, because
average people, like you say, don't.
Right, and they'll say, oh, okay, now I can defend myself against a gun. Or even he laying on his stomach, the dude he shows that, you know, the dude about to kick at his face, he just grabs his ankle. That would break your damn thumb or fingers. I was in a movie fight scene with shooting. I told the director I need to catch this with a C hand. That's just the way we do it. And it's going to look better if you use your thumb. I said, but that's not safe. He said, come on, man, it's better. You know, use your thumb and so, you know, I'm in this movie and getting paid big money to do it. I said, okay, I do. The director wants. The guy's tired that I'm doing the scene with, because, you know, you're shooting like 30, 40 times, different angles. Right. So he's tired. So to get his kick up, he had to kick hard. And I said, this is bad. And I go to block it with my hand like this, and he hits my thumb, and it bends my thumb back to my wrist, snaps my thumb. So you're not catching. I was standing. So imagine you're on the ground, and you're trying to catch somebody trying to kick you in the face. You're on your stomach, too. And you put your hand out there, he's going to tear your fingers, thumb to shreds. They're going to be shattered.
So that's a great example.
Dangerous.
That's a great example, Bob, because somebody can show you a technique, and the simple difference between holding your hand like that versus like that could get you jacked all the way up. And the technique looks sound, and your brain is telling you this is sound. Right. Because what you don't know don't exist. So you don't know what's going to happen by having your thumb out there like that.
And he don't know nothing. But what he does know, what he does know is other people don't know, and he can trick them because he puts on a costume that looks like he's tactical and using some guns, and people eat it up.
On that,
I can tell you right now, there are some respected gun folk out there who don't know what they're doing.
Uh-oh. Don't do it, Bob. Don't do it.
I'm not gonna name them, but there are some who know what they're doing. Now, if you're interested, I think she only teaches sisters.
Tig,
her name was Washington. It's a different last name now, but Tig knows what she's doing. The Panda Gang. She knows what she's doing. Okay. A friend of mine, lady with a gun, but these sisters only teach sisters. As far as brothers, there are several out there. But there are some that's just straight clowns.
For real.
If you want to know, hit us up in the DM at Warrior Class BPM, and I'll let you know who knows what they're doing. Okay.
Right.
Hey,
no, Bobby, you gotta name names.
We'll name who the ones who know what they're doing, not the people who don't.
That I'm not gonna do, but I was on a panel, me and Kalanji with one of them. this fool,
Okay.
this fool, who's supposed to be well educated, but he sounds like I had a stroke, and he sounds like he got more muffins in his mouth than me.
Stop it.
And he's supposed to be highly educated. I'm saying you don't see me online with no guns because of what I stand for, what I do. I'm known as such and such. They would love to catch me and say this. So they'll never get they can say it, but they'll never get me with the guns. As say he's a dangerous man out here, got so many guns, blah blah blah.
Right.
This dude gets up, gets his gun. He's stroking his gun like it's his member. He's overcompensating for something. And I love my gun. I love my gun. You protect me, my family. Like, man, get your foolish ass out of here. And he's teaching people to shoot, teaching them martial arts, which he doesn't know. And so it's the same as that dude. Mugs are wearing a costume.
Yeah, and it's easy. Just like the NF whatever coalition, you put on all black and get you some guns, and people will follow you. And you know what I mean? It's just how we want to follow them.
Somebody said something about them. They asked my opinion. I said my honest opinion. Dude gets behind me laughing out loud. I respect you, Baba, but you bet you won't say that to him. I said, well, hold on. I added dude. He's my my Instagram follower. So I added him. I said, he's welcome to come on in and say what he wants to say. In fact, let me get an address to my martial arts school. Because he's welcome to come there. What is he going to do except lose? I'm not fucking around. I don't have a coalition. All right. So the dude, of course, never came on there and said nothing. And the other dude was just, okay, Baba. Because we really believe these dudes were so tough, nobody best not dare say nothing.
Oh my God. I'm not
Greetings, Baba.
Greetings. How you doing?
How are you?
The last little thing I want to put out there for people, and then people got on me on this when I posted this, and I didn't know, but hey, the FBI document says that feds can get your WhatsApp data in real time. A previously unreported FBI document obtained by Rolling Stones reveals that the private messaging app WhatsApp and iMessage are deeply vulnerable to law enforcement searches. I wanted to share that information because I use WhatsApp, and I know a lot of folks that use WhatsApp, and I thought I was completely safe. Even when Facebook bought it, I was like, yeah, but WhatsApp is WhatsApp. It ain't gonna change because somebody else bought it. That ain't how it worked. And then I remember all the small vegan companies that got bought out,
right, by pharmaceutical,
and then they just stopped being vegan all of a sudden. I'm like, damn, I need to start using butter. So people like duh all over my page telling me like, duh, who uses that? And I'm like, oh, I don't know who uses it, but yeah,
well, it's very popular in Africa. They use it a lot.
Yeah. People send money like there's a lot of ways to use it.
So it's not safe. My teacher, Baba Fashola, gets on me all the time. I sent you information, but you don't go on your WhatsApp and check. I said, Baba, I'll mess with WhatsApp. Send it to Yalagoon, my wife. She'll give it to me because I just I use Facebook and Instagram enough. That's on. They all the same company.
Right. So just for y'all, the one that I've heard and from my research that I found out to be the most reliable is Telegram. That's what a lot of people use. They're even using that to spread information that won't get shut down like it does on Instagram. A lot of Telegram videos are on TikTok and Instagram, but they get shortened, edited, and censored. So Telegram is a good one. Of course, we can't 100% trust any of these apps, man. Y'all should know that. And you always got to watch what you're doing. But just to put that out there. So that's the news. I guess it's time to get to it.
Real quick, peace. I manifesto, peace. Whether it's UU or UU, Akata, let us know.
Please.
Peace to Darian. Peace everybody that's out there that's lurking,
Peace,
don't want to feel like saying nothing. Peace to all the family out here.
And please share the show. Hit the like button. Hit that like button. We don't never say that live. Hit that like button.
Yeah, mash that mug. Mash the like button. Share. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend.
There you go.
Come on in. So it's Okada. That's what I thought. All right, cool. Thanks, Okada. All right. So the report card results.
This was not easy.
Let's start with A.
No, it was not.
So the way we're doing it, we're having 2, 3 within each grade category. Then you can research them. We're going to talk maybe a little bit about them, especially about why we chose them. But so these things are what's good for self-defense to what's terrible for self-defense. Keyword self-defense. Not for getting in shape, not for doing
right.
pretty, not for the other but specifically for self-defense. Okay. All right.
So I'm up first. So this is I give an A.
Let me say something on that because Ominika said, "Why I always go first?" And you're probably wondering, the patriarchy, they making I go first. No. Mm-hmm. The reason why I just said, "Yep," that's what I was thinking. The reason why is we go by rank, and the ranking person goes last. That's particularly a Yoruba tradition and several West African traditions. When you walk into a place, even the ranking person comes in last.
Oh wow!
Okay. Even so much so, twins. When you talk about Taiwo and Kehinde, the twins, which is Yoruba make more twins than anybody else on earth. There's more incidences of it. Okay. The first twin is not the oldest; they're the youngest, and they come to check out the world and herald the coming of the oldest. So the one that comes last to the Yoruba and to our family is considered the oldest. Okay. So
I remember that when I had my set.
I just happen to be doing this the longest. Now, if we're doing vegan cooking tips, I would be first. Because I'm the least experienced, probably the worst at it, I would be first. And either Bile or Ominika, I don't know who cooks it better. I don't want to assume Ominika, and definitely if I do, not because she's a woman.
Patriarchy.
Because she's been doing videos. I just can't escape the patriarchy. But so it would be me first, then probably Bile, and probably Ominika.
Exactly, because she's been vegan longer than I have.
Right, exactly. So,
and that's why you might see me a lot of times. It may sound patriarchal when we get ready to do something. I say, "Would you like to go first?" I'm saying it like it's an invitation, but actually that's how we do it. That's why I actually do it like that. So just so y'all know, and I want to just say again, this was not easy because as martial artists. And as people who, I understand other people are training in these martial arts, you want to be sensitive to them and you don't want to speak on something.
Some of our friends too. Some of them are our friends. It was this was hard for me because I know I'm going to get some messages and stuff like that.
Me too. I probably won't. I will. My brother is an instructor. Just so y'all know that one of my oldest brothers is a capoeira instructor. We have to talk about it.
You may get capoeira. Hey, all right, let's get to it.
Okay. All right. So the completely without bias, the art that I gave in A2 was Igbe Ogun, which is the one that we practice. And I will say the reason why is because of the things that I've learned over the years of practicing it, how practical it is, the fact that it's combat ready, and the fact that we seamlessly are able to integrate weapons into our training. And, you know, we use them all the time. We go through different phases where we learn about wrestling, grappling, other things. And to me, I mean, that's why I'm here. That's why I'm doing it, because it is the best martial art. And also, excuse me, one of the most obvious reasons is because our instructor is the son of, you know, the man who actually developed Igbeogun or African martial arts. And you know, that is going to be the best source for your information also.
Well, let me say this. My African martial arts is just long before my daddy. But so what he did was took 3 arts from West Africa and then put them together, codified it, and then he mixed that with his special ops military training, and then taught me. And then as I learned special ops, I was special forces just like he was, and that was purposeful. Then I took what I learned in special forces and put into the system as well. Okay. Now, as far as physical techniques, bladed weapons, blunt weapons, all that's in indigenous African martial arts, but we added guns and things like that, certain strategies as far as how to use tools in this urban environment.
Yeah, well,
that was his contribution. You know, I would like to say I contributed something, but I, you know, probably not. Just copying what he taught me. But yeah, so he didn't make them, or however you put it, but he did.
I said he developed it.
Oh yeah,
I guess.
Well, I guess he developed it for modern day Black folk. Yes.
For those of us in the diaspora,
yes.
He brought it to us.
Yes. Now,
so he's the War of Dean Muhammad of.
No, sir. Shout out to War of Dean Muhammad, but no, sir. If we were gonna say anything like that, you know, you can say the Marcus Garvey. Okay. I can even rock with that, but
that's good. I don't know who that is, Baba, but it sounded bad.
War of Dean, the son of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Oh,
and that's as far as I go with that.
Okay. All right.
Can he be the Noble Jew Ali? That's what the Noble Jew Ali of.
Now that part didn't, except you know, he wouldn't just say he ain't an African. He is an African.
Damn it, Noble Jew Ali. Okay. Well, anyway, and
I don't know if Noble Jew Ali did that, but
I don't think he did. I feel like everybody else came back and did that.
Yeah, we don't know if Noble Jew Ali did that, but his folks did it.
Yeah, his folks definitely did.
Who kind of said Balagoon is Dan Freeman.
We offended everybody today.
Let's not offend.
Who kind of said Balagoon is Dan Freeman. If you don't know who Dan Freeman is, watch the Spook Who Sat by the Door.
Right.
Boy, that's an honor, but you know, on the Spook Who Sat by the Door, then we'll get to it. It's being remade, but it's being remade by Lee Daniels. So I don't know if I'm gonna watch that.
That's gonna be a different kind of spook.
Yeah, exactly. Watch the Spook Who Sat by the Door, or read the book Sam Greenlee's Spook Who Sat by the Door.
I saw the first movie years ago.
Okay, so where we?
Is that your only A?
Yes, I heard you just say to do like 2 or 3. I apologize. I didn't do. Okay. I didn't do 2 or 3 this time.
It's completely biased. No. Okay, so for me, I will say I'm going to start with A first, right? So the A+++ is going to go to the number 1, and that's Krav Maga. Okay, it's not Krav Maga.
I thought you had a stroke.
Kung Fu, not that either. Sorry. So to not use of course, I think we all have Ikbal Gun as an A, so I'm not going to say that one. And I just want to add on to what she's saying. So I would say the reason why you have to have Ikbal Gun as A, and I know we practice Ikbal Gun, so of course, but it's because I'm looking at what encompasses the complete martial arts, meaning it's got to have ground, grappling, it's got to have standing, it's got to have clinching, it's got to be able, it's got to use weapons. It's got to encompass all that, and it's got to have and then you got to get into the attitude of it. But at least have to encompass all that. So Ikbal Gun does that. The next one I'm gonna go with for A is going to be Kali Escrima. I'm gonna go with this, and for people who don't have a background of this is it's a Filipino martial arts, and it's really based on it's weapon based, really good with sticks and knives, but they also deal with weapon disarmament. So they do dealing with firearms and things of that nature. So they do deal with those. So I'm going to give that my A. Besides Ikbal Gun is my other A. It's going to be. I can't pronounce. I never could pronounce that Penchat Salat. I always get that wrong.
Penchat Salat.
Penchat Salat is the third A for me, and it's similar to Kali Escrima. Baba's way more versed in these than I am. I just know of them as a novel. As a novice, I know of them. I look at them. I've seen them from a distance, but I know they work really well with knives and sticks and disarmament. So that's what my A is.
All right. My A, Ikbal Gun, for the reasons you all said. Not biased about that. That's just actual fact. Another A is Penchat Salat. The reason why Penchat Salat is similar to the Filipino arts, but the Filipino arts are drill heavy, whereas Penchat Salat is technique heavy. So it takes those drills, breaks them down, and makes them useful for how you would defend yourself. Okay.
Okay.
And my third one is MACP and MICMAP. So MACP is Modern Army Combat Program, and MICMAP is Marine Corps Martial Arts Program. I chose those because now MICMAP and MACP, it's a combination of arts. They take things from the lot, things from the Filipino arts, Kali, Escrima, things from Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. But then they also use the firearms. How do we use the firearms defensively? How do we use them while controlling the person? How do we take the firearm from the person if we're in a situation like we're on a plane or whatever and somebody has firearms? They train in all of that.
Right.
So that's why they're in my A. So it's Ikbal Gun, Penchat Salat, MAP, and MACP. Okay.
Right. And I didn't.
Have a question.
Oh, good.
I have a question about do you know it? Do you have to make a certain rank to take like Marine Corps martial arts, or is that taught to everyone?
It's not taught to everyone. So basic training is one thing. Basic training, like in the Army. When I was in basic training, we used the pugil sticks, which is like a staff. And they, if you're good with it, like they had me go in, fight two people, and it comes down to the three best, and then we all fought each other, in the end. And people who never use, they're like, oh, they're excited. I fought two people, I fought three. Of course, you got helmets on and all that. So if you didn't have helmets on, three people fighting each other with some quarterstaffs, must be busted up.
Yeah, man.
So that's what you're learning. You learn how to use the bayonet, and you learn one reap and outside wrist lock. I think you learn one kick to the knee and a punch or something. That's about it. Punch like that, whatever. When you're talking about MACP, that you have to fill out paperwork to go.
Okay, I didn't.
They have level 1, level 2, level 3. Level 3 is training to be an instructor. That's really instructors training to be instructors. You're about to instruct MAC 1 and 2, MAC P1 and 2. MAC P1, that's what you would train to, like your Rangers, Special Forces, Pathfinders, Airborne, air assault folks could possibly go. They go to level 1. Level 2 is definitely that's all your special forces people. If they go into that level. Map is probably the same. I'm not sure as far as rank who they send, but I'm pretty sure it's the same. They probably force reconnaissance, Marine Raiders. They probably go there. They're special operations people. So that's special operations training. That's when you take it to a higher level, because you're going to be your average soldier or Marine is not going to be engaged in hand-to-hand combat with the enemy. They're going to be shooting back and forth. They'll be in a shootout, basically, but they will usually not be in hand-to-hand situations. But special ops, a lot of times, will be. So that's why they train in. Okay. All right.
Thank you, Bobby.
Back to you on your B.
Oh, right. B. I put Kali for B because I thought it was just one. So, and that's Escrima, and they also call it Arnis?
Arnis, Escrima, or Kali, yes.
And it's Filipino.
Do they grapple like that, Bobby? They don't grapple that much, do they?
Yeah, so they have, that's called Dumag in Filipino martial arts.
Right, okay.
They have Suntukan or Panantukan, that's their hand-to-hand. They mainly with a stick or knife, but Panantukan is their hand-to-hand, and Dumag is their wrestling.
Copy that.
Okay.
And it all comes off the stick, which is the analog for the sword.
I saw when I was looking at it, the videos of it, I saw like some combat application that they had in there. I saw like the disarms that Billy was talking about. Their footwork seemed good. It seemed realistic the way that he was doing it. So I thought that was really good. I like the sticks. Like you said, it trains the hands and it emulates the sword, and it also puts distance between yourself and your opponent, which is useful. It trains their hands to be quick, and I like the fact that they integrate so many weapons into their training too. So that's why I picked Kali.
All right.
Let me say something real quick. That MACP, there are people out here who teach it, but if they're saying, I teach Army combatives, that's probably not it. Army combatives, they're probably teaching the techniques from combato from World War I and World War II. Yeah. Okay. So just know what you're dealing with when you're out there. But there are some people that I know who do teach MACP. So out in the civilian world, black people who teach it.
Okay.
Cool. They're not going to publicly advertise, but they do teach it.
Okay, so for my B, I went with U.S. Army basic training. And the reason I did is because they get a little bit of everything as well. And as well as they they also train with the firearms. So you have very few that's going to that's going to deal with striking, wrestling, clinching, and weapons. So I had to go with that. And I hate to even say this for the second, but you put this down here. You put this as a martial arts on the list, on the list. I got some other stuff, but I saw this and I thought about it. I was like, damn, well, police tactics. You gotta, I mean, hey, we can't say they ain't effective. They've been working for a long time. I mean,
yeah, they've been effectively abusing and killing our asses for a long time.
But you know what made me really what really made me, one thing I talked about is attitude, you know, your approach to it. And the approach to it, that gang mentality approach to it, aside from what they learn, the way that they gang up on you at all times, you ain't never gonna be one-on-one. That's important. That's valuable right there. That's something that you can learn, because we got this stupid, foolish, fair type of thing in the back of our head about when we come into an encounter that we, I guess, come from childhood, that, you know, everybody ain't got that, but some of us have that, where we feel like it's got to be this honorable thing where, you know, you're standing and you're fighting, and they don't even want you to. Yeah, I even seen. I've been places where somebody knocked somebody on the ground. They be like, okay, wait, you got to stand them back up. What? Yeah. It's a fight.
Or people just want to spectate.
Yeah, the whole mindset. So when I think about police tactics, I think about the mindset that police use on our community, especially. And boy, is it effective that it's 6 of them on one. They each got a limb. You know what I'm saying? You can call it what you want. It's very effective. If we had our own police force doing the same to our oppressor, I'd be happy about it. But anyway, that's my second B.
All right. Is that all of them?
Yeah, that's all for me. That's all on my B list.
Okay, for me, I chose Kali, but specifically 2 of them, Balin Tawak and Pakiti Tersha. So Balin Tawak is masterful with the stick.
Hold up, I think you had Pakiti Tersha as one of your A's.
No, I had Egbil Goon, Pentas Salat, Mac P, Micmap.
Okay, Pentas Salat. What's the other? Oh, Pakiti. Okay, I just messed that all up.
So Pentas Salat is Indonesian.
Right, Pakiti Tersha.
Kali is Filipino. And so Pakiti Tersha, Kali, which is, you'll see it as PTK sometimes. They are great with the knife. Some of the knife, like taking a knife up this way through the body, is questionable, because if you go up like this, I don't know how you're going through the body unless you go up and pull out. But Pakiti Tersha's strategy with the knife is excellent. Okay. And then Balin Tawak with the stick. If you look up Bobby Tabaoda, Tabaoda, Bobby Tabaoda, he's a 70-some-year-old man, and he's incredible with the stick. I mean, he'll work with you. He'll take your stick, give you his, then still work. In the midst of flowing, he take your stick, give you his, boom, boom, boom. You didn't even realize he gave you his. He's incredible, and he's 70. So,
peace, James Thompson.
Now everybody can't teach at that level as Bobby Tabaoda, but they are all extremely. Their flow is superb. Okay, so that's Balin Tawak. I also chose MMA, but specifically, now that's mixed martial arts, but specifically Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu plus catch wrestling plus Muay Thai. So Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, they're masters of the ground, and you need that because you get thrown out here. You can't deal with the ground. The ground becomes your enemy. You want it to be your friend. Okay. Muay Thai deals with elbows, knees, headbutts, kicks. Okay, strong, powerful kicks. It's very aggressive and it's strategic in how it moves, but it also clinches, so you can control the person from punching you or kicking you. Okay. And then catch wrestling is just masterful with grappling, throws,
I have never heard of catch wrestling until Baba put it is. I studied it for a minute. It looked good, man. It's really fluid.
Catch wrestling is very scientific. You know, all those wrestling things, they from their thing, they say they got theirs from the Egyptian art. So the catch wrestling comes from freestyle wrestling and Greco-Roman. They get theirs from the Egyptian wrestlers, African wrestling. Okay. And then finally, I chose 52 blocks as a B, especially if it's combined with freestyle wrestling and a stick art like Kalinda or the Filipino art.
Yeah, that was
without a tool art or grappling, I would give it a C. But and no disrespect to my 52 art brothers who are, we got a real close relationship with one, but anytime you're dealing with self-defense, you have to have tools. That's the great
good thing about them is especially because we know some of the people that's prominent in that that they kind of incorporated that, and they got that mindset that you could see. I don't know how publicly they talk about
one thing you're not doing if you don't have a tool, but you always want to assume your opponent does. But if you don't have a tool, the one thing you're not going to just punch them in the face.
Right.
Their defense is superb.
Right. You ain't about to just go tee off. You're not getting all that.
Their defense is superb. So,
just to clarify what you're saying, Baba, you said mixed martial arts, but in the form that they combine those three together. That's what you were saying.
Those three, but they still have they would have to bring in something with tools. If you have an art without tools, it's hard for me to put you in B.
Right, which is why they're in my C. But I got you, because together it can be, which some people do train it like that too.
Yeah, so a lot of MMA folks, they do Kali and Escrima.
Makes sense.
All right, C. Now we get into the arts that just okay.
Okay. This might be a little controversial, but I chose guns and firearms for C. Yeah, and I chose that because I feel like there's too many variables involved with the use of firearms. You have to keep it at the ready, which many people don't.
You're not even able to at all times.
Right. And exactly, you have to be in the right situation to be able to use it. So and then you have to reload ammo. Like it requires a little bit too much. It's something that you have to use that's I mean, a knife is not. I thought of it as something that's too far outside of yourself. Like you can have tools and knives and stuff like that on you, and I think they maybe because I haven't necessarily trained with a firearm, that way as I have with knives. I feel like they're a better option in more situations. Something like using knives as opposed to using, firearms if we're talking about tools.
All right.
That's what I chose.
So for me, I have a lot of.
You know what? Excuse me. I have one other thing. I wrote it off to the side, but I thought of it. I want to make sure that I say this. Is the mental hurdle of shooting someone. I think that people don't really think about that as much as they should. Like even people who train with guns, go to the range, like you're about to shoot someone. And I don't think that the gravity of that really, because we watch these movies, and we feel like we have this relationship with guns. Like when it comes down to it, there's going to be a moment that you are going to have to shoot someone. And, that's big. I think that a lot of people would turn back, and then what do you have to defend yourself with?
Well, I'll say this on that. The key to learning, because gun instructors have sent people to me to make them less, people who are squeamish using the gun. How can I make them less squeamish? The key is hands-on training, hands-on self-defense training. Because if I can make you not squeamish about taking an elbow or elbow getting close to your face and you stop it, move off, punches coming inches from your face and you stop it, and as you get less squeamish doing that, and then you're hitting people, you work with a knife or actually cutting people, then your squeamishness goes down, because if you can be up close and personal and not be squeamish, then you can be impersonal and not be squeamish. So the key is to train in up close and personal technique. And when you're not squeamish doing that, then you won't be squeamish when you shoot. Okay.
Yeah, Bob.
Okay.
Thank you, Baba.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So,
which is why I think next phase, we're actually going to do a gun phase of actually using it for self-defense.
oh shit.
Wow.
I'm geek. All right. So my C is could be a long list, but I'm gonna narrow it down. So, like Bob said, playing by itself, mixed martial arts by itself is a C to me, because like he said, there's no tools involved. It's too many videos of random people with knives, with fake knives, just tearing up MMA fighters that they don't know what to do. So along with that is going to be jiu-jitsu. Is I think it's great, but again, they don't use any tools. They don't have any defense for when I pull the knife out. I always think about that. If I pull this knife, what you gonna do? And they do very little. I'm gonna also put judo at C, and judo is great. I really don't have anything bad to say about judo. If you incorporate it with something else that you got that is using weapons or tools, then you're gonna be in pretty great shape. So that's gonna be my C.
Okay, my C, guns and firearm, like on Miniki. Because so many people get so into, they've even, get yourself some self-defense training. They're talking about a gun, firearm. Right? That don't make any sense at all. And then, so people will come to me, I got self-defense training. I got my gun. I've had a couple sisters say that. I said, get it out right now. Get it out right now, or I'm going to cut the hell out you with this knife that I got right here.
That's what's up, El Manifesto.
And they're looking their purse.
Right, it's too late.
Right. You rummaging through your purse for your gun. I gave my wife a knife one time. She can be mad she found, but I tell this. Gave her a real nice knife. She has it, puts it in her purse. I said, "Where's the knife?" I kept asking her. She rummaging. I said, "Dear, you can't be rummaging for your knife, So eventually, where's your knife? She got tired of me fronting her. She gave it to my son. Because he got it on him. He gonna carry it, but she got it in her purse. Now, I'm not just saying that for women. Now, just be careful if you carry a purse. There's some dudes carrying purse. You don't carry it, put it in your purse either. Because my daughter, my 12-year-old, 13, she's 13 now. She has a knife. She carries it in her pocket every day. She ordered it herself. I said, "Hey, you got something from Amazon? What's this?" She said, "Oh, that's a knife." Knife? I'm like, "Oh, snap, it's nice." So she carries that.
That's wonderful.
I gave my son firearm because he's ready for it. He's responsible, right? But I did not let him take it to college, take it off to school. I'm like, people gonna piss you off there.
Yeah, you smart for doing that.
And I don't want you, all right, fool, you what? I don't want that. So I said, nah, that's gonna stay here. But the reason why I know he's ready for a firearm because he's ready to use a knife. He's willing. He's not squeamish about that kind of thing. So then he's ready for the firearm. Most people think firearm is that's the end all be all, right? They've been watching too much John Wick. They think a person standing 15 feet away, I put this gun, I go with my gun, I got him. If he wants to harm me, we know the 21-foot rule, and we tested it, by the way, y'all, says a person with a knife charges you from 21 feet. It can hit you with a debilitating or a killing cut before you get a shot off. And we've done this.
Right.
Okay, so just know 21 feet is a good distance. And they got you. So don't get so confident. Those people that teach just guns, they don't tell you about the 21-foot rule.
And they probably don't know, Baba. One of the things
They may not.
One of the things in the comment I think James said was most people haven't been in a fight before. Yeah, make sure that was James. Yeah, you're right. Most people never been in a fight before. Some of those people are martial arts instructors, but they never been in a fight before, and so everything they got is they may even believe it, but it's all theoretical.
And let me say this to James. James said, so what style of martial art other than Krav Maga teaches you to
I'm getting to that too, Bob. I'm getting to that.
Krav Maga, if you think Krav Maga is going to teach you to disarm weapons effectively, that's the key. You're mistaken, James. You're mistaken.
The police
Me holding out a gun and you just snatching that from me, well, anybody can do that. I can hold out a stick. I can just hold out a knife and do that. But me actually coming at you strategically with a knife, shortcuts, you're not just taking that from me, James. Firearm, holding it like this, and I'm not moving, sure. And I got half a brain cell, sure. But if I'm hitting you from here, James, that's a different story, James. Because now you got to close with me, James.
Mm.
And when you close to try to take it, and it's this close to my body, the closer your arms are, the stronger you are, you're going to have a problem. But, James, it's not going to just stay here, James. When you go for it, it lowers to my hip, James. And I hit you, James. And then when you go for it up there, then I move it off to the side, move your hand out the way and hit you, James. It's not that easy, James, against somebody to disarm. Knife, stick, gun, none of it. That is
he really dislikes Krav Maga, in case you didn't know this.
And he's talking to James, and just in case.
He's not talking at James, he's talking to James about Krav Maga. So Krav Maga, not to James.
Question, but this is for everybody. But also, my students, they know I hate disarms.
Right.
Because the easiest disarm, if you have a knife, is to cut your hand. That's some kind of work techniques. So the only disarm I'm with, I cut you. You drop it. I shoot your arm. You drop it. Not trying to manipulate your joints. Under stress and duress, disarms is fine motor. Under stress and duress, you don't pull off fine motor techniques.
That dude does put his finger in the gun thing and stop it from firing.
That dude's a fool. That dude's a fool. He's a fool. And he's very dangerous.
But he's
I saw someone get his face smashed against concrete trying to break up a fight at James Thompson. Yes. James is from Chicago too. So James, you come on, just think about what you've seen in life.
Yeah, it's not a lot. You don't really want to do a lot of disarming, Mm-mm. You want to be able to retain your weapon when somebody try to disarm you, though. So you definitely want some art forms that teach weapon retention.
Yeah. Now it was no shade. James said no shade taken, no shade meant. This is how I teach. When they ask me certain questions, this is how I respond. Because our lives depend on it.
We gotta talk about Wing Chun, our manifesto.
So, I'm gonna get to that. So all
Well, yeah.
so now
Baba.
Wing Chun is one of my C's.
Oh, okay. So you own it, right? Okay, we still on C's, right? Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Guns and firearms, Wing Chun, and Tai Chi. Those are my C's. Wing Chun is a C. It's okay. You say, well, Wing Chun use weapons. Yes, it uses two weapons, two tools. It uses Bat Dam Do. And I know I probably said that wrong. Bat Dam Do is people say butterfly swords. I don't know why they call it that, but it's these short swords, blades like that. They're really butterfly knives. They're about to knife them, but they broad. So Bat Dam Do, it uses two of them. Okay. You ain't carrying that around. You're not carrying big old thing. And then it uses I forget what the pole's called. It uses the pole.
It's a big one too.
It's 8 feet. You're not carrying that around either. So you're not walking around with an 8 foot tall stick. Imagine Ominiki with an 8 foot tall stick. that would be ridiculous. Somebody would say she owns something. I mean, you're not being covert. Talking about as a walking stick with this big old stick. So it's not covert. You're not walking.
Still training for ancient China.
Yes, exactly. That is good. You know what that actually was? That comes from the plays in China. They would do these dramas on these boats, and they would move the boats with those. That's why they're so long. So they go in the water and push the boats. And then they just incorporated that because Wing Chun had no tools. And so it incorporated that, and it incorporated Bat Dam Do. So can't say it uses tools. When we talk about, I gave it a C because otherwise it would have got lower, but I gave it a C because of its mastery of controlling the center line.
Okay.
And because I have such a high respect for, if you look up fight science on YouTube, there's this brother from England. He's a PhD, and he does Wing Chun, and he does it very scientifically, what makes sense. But of course, he's adding other things. He's adding covers. He's adding.
Yeah, he done modified it a lot.
Right. He modified. Same way Dr. Wong. Not Dr. Wong. What's his name? Something Wong.
Yeah, Mr. Wong or Master Wong.
Wong. Master Wong has modified it.
It don't even look like.
It don't even look like Wing Chun. Right.
Yeah.
He's modified it so much. So if you got to do all that modification to make it work, it's really not for self-defense. Do something that's already fit for self-defense. So that's Wing Chun, guns and firearms, and Tai Chi. Tai Chi, most people have turned into a health thing. They believe, move slow for 7 years. And then Jitsu believes this too, by the way. Move slow for 7 years, and then you just move fast when you have to. That's bullshit. The way you train is the way you fight. There's muscle memory, and your muscle is used to moving slow. It's not going to all of a sudden be lightning quick. It's not going to do that. Stop. But the reason why I got C and not an F for Tai Chi is because now they have tools too, but sword, I mean long sword. I teach sword for the culture. The African swords, yes. We ain't carrying around the sword. But just in case, you got a machete, you can use it. But Tai Chi, why I got a C is because I went to a school in Chicago.
I knew this was the one time you see.
He passed away, I think. But I went to his school, faking like I didn't know anything. At that time, I think I've been training 15 years. Let you know how long it'd be 50 years for me in April. But I think it's 15, 20 years or something. He says, nice to meet you. I'll go to school. I said, good to meet you. I'm glad that, you're willing to see me. He said, yeah, of course. He said, so how long you been training? I said, what do you mean? How long you been training martial arts? said, no. He said, yes. I touch your hand. You've been training in some. I just cannot tell what art. He didn't know anything about African art. I can't tell what art, but you've been training about 15 years. I said, God damn, this dude is bad. I already knew that from that. And then I didn't know that I would end up being able to do that later on. But I can do that myself now. But it really comes with experience. And so then I said, okay. So I told him, how long I've been training, why I've been training. And he said, oh, that's interesting. African martial arts. So he said, let's do a little sparring. I'm like, oh, I'm going to eat this little old man up. And so I'm on him. And he said, oh, that's good. And I'm like, I don't want to be aggressive on this old man like this. And then he said, now I'm going to, be just as aggressive. I said, okay, well, let's do it. So I'm like, I'm about to throw this man, but I'm going to catch him before I just slam him. And I go in at him. I go to hit him. He just wraps around and he kind of just shakes his energy and hits me with one finger. The man pushed me back. I think I've told y'all this before. He knocked me back about 30 feet. And I was about 2-3 feet off the ground, flying backwards. I landed, stumbled, and I said, damn, when are your classes? And he said, well, you can come on so-and-so, so-and-so. It just didn't fit my schedule. He said, I teach combative Tai Chi, not this health stuff that white people have turned Tai Chi into because Tai Chi, they consider it so dangerous to them. They took it and turned it into a health exercise. Now, this is from him. He taught a student, this dude climbing. He taught him, and this dude took it, and he's so wicked. I think his name Andrew Kleiman. And yes, I said his name, not a brother. So I said, because this dude, the reason I said his name, this dude goes around, he'll be at a restaurant or somewhere in a public place with a woman. He'll see a woman, and he uses Fa Jing, which is sending your energy. And he'll send this energy at her, make her have an orgasm. That is, if it's not rape, it's very close.
Oh, yeah. Ooh.
And that's why I gave his name. So if you're thinking, and he's in Chicago or a suburb somewhere, if you're thinking about training Tai Chi, do not train with that bastard. And anybody watching this who knows him, you can tell him, because he ain't going to send Fa Jing all the way to Atlanta. But I will send Joe to him.
Bob, you need to stop.
So, just so you know, his name is, I want to say it's Andrew Kleiman. He about, older than me. So he probably 60 something, still doing this shit. A brother we know, Shango Dare, who's a martial arts master, right? Knows him. And he was talking about he's still doing it. People know this. He's still out there doing it. But of course, the police can't take him to jail, but you can't prove that he sent some energy amazing by having an orgasm. You can't prove that in the court of law.
Right.
You can just know it, so he can keep doing it, getting away with it, and nothing.
That's how you know justice has nothing to do with the court of law.
Right, exactly. Justice can't be served, but not
right
that way.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so that's C. D. Ooh, boy, we're getting down.
And I just want to say too, we've had a guy come in and do a workshop and do combative Tai Chi, and although he couldn't teach it, it was effective. And I know Baba.
Now let me say this. Somebody said, "What's surfboard Balogun?" Oh, Jane, I'll find out for you and let you know. And then he hitting I remember the person say he hitting women with the 5G. It's Fa Jing. F-A-J-I-N-G. Fa Jing. And no, I don't know Fa Jing. And if I did, I was
saying, don't be going out trying to find nobody to teach
right. Don't try to find them. I'm manifesto like, oh, buddy. Now, if I knew that, me and my wife, that's my wife. But there are other ways instead of you studying for all these years.
Also mentioned, James mentioned Qigong. I think me and Baba both have trained in that a little bit. So I want to say definitely. Oh, you're right. You have too. So the three of us have all trained in Qigong. And Qigong is basically the study of the flow of energy and how to harness that and use the what we would call the ashe in our bodies, And so that's what Qigong is. And I practiced it one time and actually hit somebody with it by mistake that had rushed me. A friend of mine, I said something to him. We was in a crack. We was cracking on each other, and he rushed me. And all I did was put my hands up like this, and I had just been doing the whole thing where you sink in the mud and all that stuff out. And he came up to me, and I just did like this and lift them up in the air and slammed them all over the place without even basically using any strength. That's the last time I actually did it. I haven't practiced it since then. But it's effective if you use that in your
like 70. A friend of mine, Eddie Chong. We were going to actually open the school together. Eddie Chong teaches Pat San Wing Chun, which most people are doing the Hong Kong version of Wing Chun. Mm-hmm. He teaches the original Pat San Wing Chun. He teaches white eyebrow Kung Fu. Woo! Now that's probably the best of the Kung Fu system. It's internal and external. A lot of power in it. And he teaches Qigong. So he was teaching me a Qigong technique. 30 days I had to work this. He's out in California, San Francisco, but he was going to move to Chicago. We're going to open the school together. For 30 days I was working. You bring the energy to your eyes and all these different things, right? And me too, I'm hitting people, just normally, working with folks anyway, I'm hitting folks and they're dropping because it had built up so much energy. Mm. So Qigong is not really a martial art. It's a way of cultivating that energy, martial energy, and then using that. So you can use that in any art and it'll build you up, But for self-defense, of course, it has no value because it would take years to get to the point where you're just devastating people.
Right.
El Manifesto, excuse me, Baba. Yeah. I was just gonna say, I think you're asking about White Owl Kung Fu.
White Eyebrow.
White eyebrow. White eyebrow. I wrote it down right.
Yeah, I don't know the Chinese name of white eyebrow. I don't know the Chinese name, but yeah, it's called white eyebrow. I Manifesto said, I think I've seen Eddie. Yes, Eddie Chong, Chong, CHONG.
All right. So we're on D's now.
Okay. Yeah. I'm going to qualify my D. I think we did it a little bit at the beginning, but I just want to say, I have trained with people who do this particular art. When I first started doing martial arts, one of the people who I befriended in my class, we started training together. And this is the other art that he did. So we would train and do this art. He taught me some of it. So I really respect people who do it. But as far as it being for self-defense, there are some fundamental reasons why it cannot be. And the art that I'm talking about is capoeira or capoeira. My friend at the time, he called it Angola, but I don't think that he was really I don't think it was really Angola. I'm pretty sure it was capoeira, and he just wanted to make it sound more African maybe at the time, which,
well, I guess. So you have three major capoeira systems. You got capoeira Angola. Capoeira Angola is low to the ground, both hands on the ground when you move. I love Angola. It's beautiful. But then you got capoeira regional. Regional, which looks like regional, but it's pronounced regional. Capoeira regional, Angola, that was from the Pastina camp. Maestre Bimba bought out regional. He did Angola, but he wanted something that could compete with karate, jiu-jitsu, and so it's more upright stand up. That's more what you see in the movie and stuff, what you see Wesley Snipes doing. They put one hand down, one hand up to defend. That's what he added throws and stuff, punches and stuff like that to it. Okay. So that's Regional. And then you have Contemporaire, which is a combination of Regional and Angola.
Mhm.
So when he said Angola, he probably was doing Capoeira Angola.
Okay, well, good for him.
Yeah. Now, Angola will say they're more African. It's all got Brazilian influence. So they need to stop that and fighting. And the African way, just we're not fighting with another art saying we're more African than you.
Right.
That's not even the culture. So the culture, they've lost that part of the culture where they're not doing that. You show improve. If I say I'm a better fighter, goddamn it, I got to get on the mat. The mat is the truth.
Yeah, wrong.
And they've lost that. So both Angola against Regional, they need to stop that foolishness because they're all somewhat African, but not fully African.
And yes, our manifesto, they do use your momentum against you. Any good martial art is going to use momentum against you. So that's just something to keep in mind.
So you have to be a gymnast type with capoeira. Capoeira actually teaches you to do that. Now, if you're older,
yeah, they do.
Right.
Rickety bones or something. Capoeira thing for you.
Yeah, now, you got these kneecaps. You ain't trying.
It does have some flips, but it's your hands on the ground, both of them.
Right. Then that was
high flips, kicks, and all that spins. That's different.
And that was one of the reasons why I gave it the D, because your hands are on the floor and you can't really defend yourself like that. It's a fundamental flaw for you, both of your hands to be on the floor at the same time, no matter what you're doing, and kind of no matter how good you are at it, because someone else could come along who practices something and see that flaw and take full advantage of it.
Not even that, but terrain. You may not be able to put your hands on the floor effectively.
Right. Mm-hmm.
What's up with Key's fighting system?
No, Casey.
Right, I know that because I just looked at it. It's very.
Friend of mine does Casey. Casey got popular because of the Batman movies.
And John Reacher.
With the and John Reacher. The Batman with Dark Knight Rises, the Dark Knight Returns. He was doing Casey. Okay, Christian Bale, yes.
They like
so it. Casey is really, to be honest with you, Casey, the Diogo, whatever heck his name is, he claims he learned it from gypsies. Number one, you're calling people gypsies, that's racist as shit.
Mm-hmm.
So for this white man to be saying that is racist, but I learned from the gypsies. Why did it just teach you? Why did it just teach you? Gypsies talking about Egyptians, Africans, and this is why you're seeing the elbows and stuff, but they've changed it to, trying to look rhythmical. That is really when you're taking 52 blocks and you try to rhythmic it up and make it European.
That's what I'm about to say. Is the white folks remix right there. That's what it really is.
It's already rhythmical, right? But they can't move in our rhythms. They can't move in our rhythms. So since they can't, they make it something else. Make it ballet. So that's what's up with Casey.
Wow.
And yes, my boy does it, but it's the truth. All right.
The other thing, excuse me, Bob, but the other thing I was going to say about capoeira is the actual kicking is also being so kick heavy and as extended as they are is also a fundamental flaw, because you leave yourself vulnerable to, for instance, if someone has a knife, you're exposing your femoral artery, which is a major artery in one of your legs. And, that's not something that you want to be regularly doing as a part of your self-defense. Like, that's something that you want to protect. So that's the reason why.
I got to go get my charger for the computer. I'll be right back. Keep going. Be like.
Okay.
All right. So what we're gonna go to, I want to go to one of these comments. Oh, sir. Oh, okay. One thing I want to address is that and you can get Baba to confirm this. Krav Maga is not the Israeli police martial arts. They just promote it as such. That's not what they do. Just the same way that you see special forces holding, you see special forces pictures of them holding their knives like that, but that's not what they primarily trained to do. That's just something they put out there for disinformation. So Bob, if you can hear me right now, at Krav Maga, okay, the Israeli police really don't use Krav Maga, do they? They just promote it.
It's not police, it's military.
Oh, so they really do use Krav Maga?
No.
Right. I was about to say it's not the form. Yeah, that's what I meant.
No, they use what's called kapap. K-A-P-A-P. Kapap.
Right. As a matter of fact, I thought it was pronounced K-pop. Exactly. That's what they do.
K-pop is that Korean singing that they do with the
Korean Backstreet Boys.
Right, exactly. That's K-pop. No, kapap.
Okay. All right. So, all right, my D's. And I got a few of them, but I'm going to keep it real simple. I'm going to say Kung Fu number one. And I grew up loving Kung Fu. I used to be the dude with the other guy, the other black boy out there in elementary school doing Kung Fu before class started, even though I didn't know what I was doing. But if you just Google Kung Fu masters fighting, that's all you need to see. If you Google Kung Fu masters fighting each other, as soon as they start, they have all this form and they start fighting each other, and then it turns into this right here. It don't look like Kung Fu no more because you just can't use it to fight. You just can't use it to fight. You can't. It looks beautiful. Snake and crane technique. Listen, I had somebody try to fight me with that before. We was actually sparring. I swear to goodness. They broke out with it, and I like to. Never mind. So Kung Fu 1. Secondly, I'm going to say this is going to be, now this is a real issue in our neighborhood, our community, but I'm going to say it because it has to be said. Boxing. Nobody want to say it because everybody, I used to box. And they'd be like, ooh, you used to box. But
and there's discipline involved in
we're
boxing.
not talking about that. We're talking about self-defense.
That's part of the ooh.
The discipline, I will never disrespect the I won't even, my thing is this. You're only using your hands. That's all. I mean, that's it. We out here talking about the real world.
In boxing, you're using your hands with big gloves on. Your hands aren't.
I'm about to get to it. You're only using your hands. That's first. Then we got to talk about you ain't even using your whole arms. You're just using your hands. And then you're not even using them to the full capacity. You're not even using them properly. So, and that's a good reason why they got this thing that they call the boxer's break. It's actually nicknamed the boxer's break because most boxers do it. And it's really a fracture going around here because they punch wrong. Because they punching like this. The famous picture of Muhammad Ali where he's got his fists out there like that. That's the wrong way to punch. It's a beautiful picture. This look cool right now. I wish I could make this a picture right now. It look cool. It do. It don't look. That just don't look as cool. But I swear to God.
Oh yeah,
I catch you with this motherfucker. It look cool when Baba do it. It look better when Baba do it than when I do it. Okay, so but yeah, man, boxing, man, it don't use no tools. It only use your hands. It don't use them properly. Footwork. That's something else though. They got some footwork for your anus now. Yeah. Now you incorporate that footwork with some grappling and some tools, and you got you something. But by itself, it's not. It's not. I'm not giving it an E. It ain't fail because you might catch him with that 2 before I pull that knife out. You gotta hope you knock me the hell out.
You're not giving it an F. You gave it a D.
Right. So I'm not giving it an F. I gave it a D because it can. You can do something. Taekwondo is. I'm gonna throw that one in. I'm gonna have to throw that one in there. Hey man, it's I've been to a Taekwondo tournament before, and I just I want to. It's different forms of Taekwondo, but the fact is it's a sport. I'm trying to tread lightly, but it's a sport. And I went this one up the street. Asked them I wanted to join, just to keep in shape and stuff. And yeah, man, I'm looking around. I can't. Besides that, I just don't know. I don't know, and maybe I don't know enough about it. But the fact, the sport part about it, they only teach it for the sports, and it's really so straightforward. You know what I'm saying? I don't see them move from off the center line a lot. So
Belay dancing, because we have a close friend who teaches compa. He's a master of it, but
he's a master. But see, it's different for him because first of all, he's a master. He's incorporated some things that make it a lot different. And it's not a sport the way he's teaching it as well. He's incorporated some things that takes it from the sport arena. And because he is a person that will get out there on the mat and also in real life, he has a better understanding of what can work and what doesn't work. So, but I can't subject the art because how good he is. I got to look at the art by itself. And for that reason,
I'll say this: if you do want to see what non-sport Taekwondo looks like, look up. His name is Shango Dare, Lawrence Pommels on.
Thank you.
On Facebook. I think his school is a School of the Black Fist, something like that.
Black Fist, Iron Fist, I'm not sure.
Yeah, there's something like School of Iron Fist, something like that. A Brotherhood of the Iron Fist. That's what it is.
There you go.
That's his school. It's in Chicago on the South Side. I go in there. You'll see on the wall the pictures of his teachers. I'm one of the people. I'm honored to be up there because I have trained them with tools and with rapping.
And he has Taekwondo. Yes, I manifesto. They have some devastating kicks, and him particularly. Yeah, he has some devastating kicks, very devastating kicks. Now as much as I talk this junk. Let me say this now. As much as I talk this junk, I am trying to learn some of those low kicks. We got a few of them in Iqbal Goon, but I like the kicks. I like to be able to anyway. So those are my D's.
All right. My D's: boxing. You've already said enough about boxing. Yes. Kickboxing. Right. French kickboxing. And karate. Like I said, I love the forms of karate, but karate for self-defense. Mm-hmm. Karate uses no tools. They say, yeah, we got Kobudo. Kobudo does not traditionally come from karate. You added that shit because Kobudo is its own thing. Kobudo is what the samurai used.
Right.
With their tool training, right? So don't do that. I'm talking about the actual art. Your actual art of karate does not. When I first moved here, people said, yeah, the children would see me, oh, look what he do. He ain't doing karate. That's how bad the reputation of karate is. Our people recognize it from the babies on up. That's karate over there. This is self-defense right here. He doing martial arts. I had to tell him, all these are martial arts. Oh, hey, karate ain't no martial art. I had to really tell him. I said, martial art means war art. Yeah, who gonna use that in war? These are children. 8, 9 years old recognizing that. When we get grown, we don't recognize because we just go by nostalgia and we love stuff. Children be like, man, no, hell no. When I was teaching the children, white dude comes in, challenges me. He does Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And one thing about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu folks, particularly if they do MMA, they think everything else is impractical and they can just whoop them. That's because they ain't ran into somebody that really is trained. Most people out here really not that trained, even if they claiming to be. Okay. So dude challenges me. I just moved here. They got me teaching all these. It's like 200 children sitting in bleachers, waiting to come. For me to call them down so we could train. And the dude challenges me, and I couldn't turn that down. The dude named Todd. So his hype man with him. Todd, don't hurt him, Todd. I said, no, it's fine. Todd can hurt me. Yeah, let's do it, Todd. And I got to whooping Todd's ass. I throw Todd. First, I was, just going to throw him, and that'll be it, control him a little bit. But when I put my shins really on his belly, the children jump up That's what they say here. Like that's the shit. And when they said that, I'm looking at their faces and they're proud. I said, these children got to see what African martial arts does, so they can be proud of themselves.
Yeah, bro.
So let me give them something more to be proud about.
And so, so then I went to work on the boy.
So you did it for the kids. You did it for the kids. Is what you saying, Baba? You did it for the kids.
I'm just slapping them. I'm slapping them. I ain't trying to hurt them. I'm just slapping them to embarrass him and showing my control over him. He trying to move around. I'm going north-south position on him. Hit him in the chest, then come back around. I'm switching to different sides of him. He could not get up. And his boy now goes from don't hurt him, Todd, to run, Todd, run. Todd, run. Get up, run, Todd. I said, oh, no, Todd's finished. You next. He's like, I don't want none. I know you don't. I said, you finished, Todd? Yeah, I said, tap. Todd taps. From just getting controlled. I wasn't even hitting him.
That's right, Baba.
I get up and I just throw up the fist to the children, man.
It been doing it for the children.
They throw up the fist to me. I wasn't even looking at Todd no more. They throw up the fist to me. I look, Todd and his boy walking out the room.
Amen.
Wow.
And that's why I've been teaching here in Atlanta ever since.
That's a beautiful story.
That was 20-some years ago. And some of those children grown, they still see me. Oh, Baba, teacher. Even to this day, I used to walk. People like, man, it's dangerous to walk through Capitol Homes. I used to walk through Capitol Homes to get to the train. I knew I wasn't gonna have no problem. Hey man, hold on real quick, man. Hold up, man. I'm like, what's up? Man, I just want to shake your hand. You teach my little brother. There was nothing but love there. Capitol Home, Grady Home, that's I was teaching folks from there.
Sound like
How'd I meet my wife? Because she was a student from Grady Homes coming to train with me. That's how me and my wife met.
Wow.
Over 20 years ago, 21 years ago.
Dang.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful story.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're at the complete failures.
Well, let me see something. Yeah, I think we're at F, ain't we?
Yeah, we're at the failures.
Well, because I got boxing, kickboxing. Yeah, you're correct. So here are the F's. All right, Ominiki.
So again, I'm gonna say I have a lot of respect. Maybe I chose this for an F because of my relationship to it and the fact that I did it, and now that I've learned better, I just know that wasn't the best art for me to be doing, of course. That's the least of it. But also because it also has a fundamental flaw. And it trained this fundamental flaw into me, and I have worked to overcome it. Sometimes it still creeps back in, but with my Igbo Goon practice. But Wing Chun, I gave Wing Chun an F, and the reason why I gave Wing Chun an F was one thing that Belay mentioned about the videos. Like every time I would pull up a Wing Chun video, a Wing Chun against whatever, you're seeing that you can't use it. It's not practical to use for fighting. There was a Wing Chun instructor. I mean, you described it. So it's so funny to the T almost. I was watching a Wing Chun instructor and he's fighting someone who's not even all that experienced. And when he started fighting even this inexperienced person, it wasn't Wing Chun. He was just punching him. It was just like the technique was completely gone. And he had just been teaching, they were in the teacher's backyard. He had just been teaching Wing Chun. The dude challenged him or whatever, which is another, that's something else. He could have handled it differently. But he started beating up on him, and it was just a regular fight. Or not it was a regular him beating someone up. But it wasn't Wing Chun. Not what he was using, and he was a teacher. So, that's one thing. And the fundamental flaw that I'm talking about is the fact that they are back. That they're back from the person. That is not how you want to go into a fight. That is the wrong energy to go into a fight with, already being backward. So that's why I gave Wing Chun an F, because of the fundamental.
Just so you know, when she's saying move backwards, if you ever want to test that, throw a baseball, throw a tennis ball or something while leaning back, and then put your back foot, raise that back heel, and throw that tennis ball or baseball. You got a lot more power.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah. So
all right. So E's, F's.
F's, yeah.
F's, right. We used to get E's when I was younger, but I never got F's. So number one, I think, is the most useless martial arts that may have been ever invented for combat is sumo wrestling.
For self-defense.
For self-defense. Sumo. It's a martial arts.
It is.
And it sucks. It sucks. It sucks.
Man, they get to slap you in your chest with them hands. What?
Listen, YouTube sumo and MMA and see what come up. You're gonna see some 600-pound dudes getting beat by 140-pound people. It don't make no sense. Okay, you know about we got to stop. It was something this person said. Somebody said a question up here, and I memorized it, but I don't know who said it. They were asking which is more prevalent or which is better, to have technique. No, I think they were asking, can you have technique? Can you be good in martial arts and have technique and not be strong and have strength, or do you need strength too? So my answer to that is you want both. Definitely. Technique, strength does not trump technique, but technique can trump. Well, strength can trump technique if it's crazy strength.
Extremely strength, yeah.
Crazy strength.
Incredible Hulk.
Right, you're going to trump technique, but technique can trump strength in a lot of cases. That's why I like to say it be a goon.
And now the one thing, you can go up in technique, and to the point it doesn't really matter the person's strength. He got to bring something else. But strength can never get, if a person has extremely superb technique, you can't up the strength and be that far behind them. You say, well, what if it's a grown man against a child? A child's not going to have superb technique. They can have good technique. Superb technique takes years. So a child can't have superb technique, but a person can have superb technique, and you can be strong as shit, and it's not going to work unless you have superhuman strength, which if you have superhuman strength, no technique is working anyway. So I can use technique. I can mobilize strength.
Right.
I can trump a weightlifter's, powerlifter's strength. I cannot trump a gorilla's or a bear's strength. I'm going to get my ass whooped. Even if they ain't using their claws or whatever. I cannot out-strength that. That is superhuman. That's strength beyond what a human can do.
Right.
Snatch your arm.
So you can use all the great techniques in the world. It's going to snap your shit up. You say, well, I know there's a dude who wrestled a bear. He wrestled a baby bear that was raised by his family.
Yeah, that's totally different.
Bears play wrestling, so it was playing with him.
Right. Let
him get in with a grizzly that he doesn't know.
Any bear he don't know. A cub. A goose cub would eat this. Anyway, yeah.
He gets in with the goose, but 6% of people feel that they can beat a grizzly bear. 6% of Americans, and 8% believe they can. Yes, truly, and 8% believe they can defeat a gorilla.
Mm-hmm.
So we're real silly. We're real silly because conjecture is a motherfucker, man. It make you just think anything, and your ego will make you say whatever, because particularly a man, we're raised to believe it's our job, and I fully believe this, to protect our families and our people.
Right.
So to not be able to fight, oh boy, the ego can't take that, even against a gorilla or a grizzly bear.
Yep. We need to feel like whatever. So yeah, for me, sumo, And I have kickboxing at F.
Woo.
This is, I hate to do it. So this is why I got kickboxing under boxing. Because I actually believe that from what I've seen in the street, lifting them feet up will get you knocked the fuck out. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say it like that.
You just said you want to learn Taekwondo.
I want to learn Taekwondo. I want to learn the kicks, not to use them in combat, just because I want to be able to do them.
And
But
they're the low kicks.
And the low kicks.
I mean,
but kickboxing, the thing about kickboxing is you don't really do a lot of low kicks in kickboxing. You do the high kicks, and there's a lot of head hunting in kickboxing. And if I've seen,
I want to learn the high kicks just to use them for movies. To be honest.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you. I didn't want to say that. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be a movie star. You know what I mean? That's why I'm trying to learn them. Honestly, I want to do the stuff that look pretty. Okay. So yeah, Baba Carr, he's all right. You put me out there. But on the street, I've seen kickboxers, and I swear on everything I love. I've seen kickboxers and Taekwondo black belts. I fought one in high school, a black belt, and knocked him out. Hit him one time. But anyway, the kickboxer and the Taekwondo dude both tried to throw high kicks at a party and got knocked out. That's all they did. They threw one roundhouse. The guy just said, boop, bow, on the ground. His head, I seen his head when it hit the cement, and then his eyes like, it was over.
They thought they would look cool at the party by throwing a high kick.
And kickboxing, I feel like it's instinct to try to throw them high kicks, and that shit don't work on the street. A boxer ain't throwing, he gonna at least keep this tight, and he doing this right here. He ain't trying to lift them feet up.
Friend of mine, Taekwondo expert in Chicago, Evergreen Park. He was at the mall, he's coming out, white man bumps into him. He said, "Oh, you gonna just bump into me, cracker, and not say excuse me?" No, they don't say excuse me. And he was just extreme anyway, the way he acted too. So the guy said, "Hey, man, you know, you talk to somebody like that, he's not gonna say excuse me." He said, man, fuck you, right? She said, What, cracker? He comes at the dude, and the dude holds his hands up, and he jumps and tries to hit the dude with a jump spinning back kick.
Oh.
He landed
off top.
Obviously, the dude off top. Obviously, the dude had sidestep because when he landed, he said the dude wasn't where he should have been. And the dude, boom, hit him, stunned him, and then was slamming his head into the wall. And so then, as he slammed his head into the wall, the dude's mistake, because he's not trained, he could have just slammed him into oblivion. He decides to punch him again, and that's when this brother says, I use what you be using on me. I knocked the hand out the way. I lift my other hand, and it's drill one. I slapped his hand down, and that's just a drill. That's not even a technique. That dude. He said, I slapped his hand down. I hit the dude. He said, mouth bleeding. He stumbled back, fell to his knees, and you would think he would have kneed him or slammed the dude, right? Then he jumped and hit the dude with a spinning back kick again, just because he couldn't believe he couldn't hit him the first time. So that's the kicker's mindset is off.
Yes.
Right.
Especially if somebody got a tool. It's nighttime. They don't even think about stuff like that. They just gonna throw that roundhouse to the face. And I'm gonna be like,
you're gonna cut that femoral artery, and then you're gonna be leaking.
Bad day. So your E's, Bob, your F, excuse me, your F.
Aikido.
I knew I was waiting for you. That's why I didn't talk about it. I knew you was gonna do it.
Aikido.
The way of the intercept.
A dude talking about mindset. Aikido master, good friend of mine. He said, "Man, I love you. You're great with the martial art." That's how he talk. He said, "But a man, if you hit a man, ain't no honor in that. Ain't no honor in that." He said, "You use knives. I mean, where the honor?" I said, "The honor? The honor is that I live to go home and take care of my family. That's the honor."
The honor.
So then he said, I said, I just want to, like when person grabs
you, go off and live an honorable life after you live
exactly
the encounter.
I said, well, when a person grabbed, we had a conversation one time about Ashe Chi, well, they say Ki. I said, how the person y'all, when you person grab and y'all move them like this and throw, why don't they just let your hand go? Yeah, you know, the chi, I take control of that chi, and they can't let me go. I said, let me see. So I grabbed it. I said, so what? Like I'm reaching for your wallet or something? She said, yeah, you're trying to reach for my wallet. And then I said, then you put your wrist in the way, and I grab your wrist, huh? He said, yeah. So I'm going along. I said, oh man. So I grabbed it. Oh, yeah, that worked. Then he started moving like this. So I started moving. I'm like, oh,
ridiculous.
And I fall back. I said, oh, dang, let me do it again. Yeah, I want to catch you again. I said, it's cool. He said, all right now. All right. So I grab him. He moves. I let go. Look, put his arm out there again. I just look at it. And I grab it. He said, you got to grab it again. I said, oh, okay. I let go. He said, oh man, that's because you just train so well. Not accepting the fact that nobody just has to hang on to your arm because you say so.
Wow.
So that's Aikido. My other F, capoeira. I don't care what you call it. I don't care what you call it,
bro.
Huh?
Yeah, I'm just telling my brother I didn't even mention him.
Right, he didn't mention it. His brother's a capoeira instructor. Capoeira, whether you call it Haitian, whether you call it Angola, whether you call it contemporary, for self-defense, no. It's beautiful. But no.
The instruments, the dance.
Right.
It's beautiful.
We were shooting a movie in which my wife plays this character. She's fighting all these experts in different arts. And we had a capoeira person there, expert at Haitian All. And I mean, he's doing the stuff in the air. And I said, man, this is going to be beautiful for technique. So I worked the choreography between him and my wife. He goes down, he does so-and-so. She moves up, boom, kicks his arm, snaps his arm in the movie. But, you know, she kicked it for real as we were practicing. He goes down, boom. And he says later, you know, I can't do the movie, man. I said, what? Why not? I said, it's going to be beautiful. He said, because you are exposing the weakness of capoeira. I said, what you mean? He said, our arms. Your arms have nowhere near, not even half the strength of your legs. You put them down. Another thing, when I first came here, capoeira folks were mad because they were the African big boys on the block. Capoeira people coming at me. We were going out to eat. They come at me. At my job, they were coming at me. I was whooping their ass easily every time because they're not combatants. Capoeira trains to spar with, what they call it, something to play with capoeira. They don't train. They playing. I'm not playing. They don't train for that. Because once I'm going to the bathroom, dude stops me. Man, you know, I heard you real good with that thing that you beat so-and-so. He grabs me. I said, man, let me go, you know. So I'm moving. He's grabbing. And then he couldn't take control of my arms. Then he grabbed my shirt. Boom, I hit him with an elbow. I'm moving him off. He grabbing again. I smacked him. And my teacher comes up. My spiritual teacher, he said, what's going on? I said, oh, he just wanted to, you know, spar me. And my teacher would invite these capoeira people because he wanted to see me whoop them, which is another story. But so I smacked him. Dude go. I'm about to hit him again, really. Dude goes down. I'm not looking at him. I'm looking at my teacher. He goes down, tries to sweep my foot. I just raise my foot nonchalantly, step on his femoral nerve. I'm standing, I said, Baba, I don't know why. I'm trying to go to the bathroom. I got to pee, but I had to do this first. I'm standing on his femoral nerve. He's screaming. Let me go. I said, no, I'm not going to let you go. I said, if I let you go, are you going to stop? Yeah. I get off his foot. He grabs my leg. I said, I'll see you in a minute. I snatch away. I go use the bathroom, wash my hands off, come back, ready to get down again. He had left the restaurant. These are they're not prepared for it. So after that, their teacher was invited by my teacher to eat. This caused drama. And he like, what do you think about, I know you heard of Baba Lagoon, that's him. And he said, oh yeah, I've heard of Baba Lagoon. So we sitting down and he said, he wants us to spar, but I'm not in the sparring. And I said, well, me either, but the match is true. I get down wherever I got to get down if I defend myself. He said, man, forget about all that defense. Just dance. That's their mindset, man. So they get an F. Aikido, I already explained, capoeira, and then my third F, Shaolin Kung Fu. There are hundreds of Kung Fu, but Kung Fu, I had a dude come to my class one time, and I'm talking about it, the impracticality. I said, this is not practical. I'm impersonating the animal I'm doing. And this dude, he goes, licking his lip. Ooh, do that again. So he was on another level of crazy. Yes. He was on another level of crazy. I said, man, get out of here. So, and this is a well-known Kung Fu dude. And I'm not saying he could have been gay and raw with it. He was not. He was, first of all, I didn't know he was gay, until then. And the reason why I'm saying that, he's so into the aesthetics and something looking good to him. So that looks so good to him. I don't do no Kung Fu. Just messing around. It looks so good to him that it titillated him. Well, that is what happens to people when they take Kung Fu. They get so titillated.
I can believe that because it's beautiful, man. It's beautiful. They can crane masters.
But they lose their minds. My wife's working with a dude. She's working at this place called Sebananda. It's a health food, vegetarian / vegan store in Atlanta. She's working there. She worked there for some years. And then a dude she's working with, they're talking martial arts. And my wife, y'all know she's not diplomatic. So she's like, man, that Kung Fu job, my husband told me about y'all getting titillated by just movement. And yeah, so y'all like the pretty and the flowers. Man, get out of here. And he got mad. He said, man, I'll whoop your husband's ass. She said, oh, well, let's see. She calls me. She said, babe, can you come down here? I said, everything all right? She said, yeah. One of my coworkers, he said, he'll whoop your ass. I said, huh? He said, why? Said because you do African martial arts and he said, Kung Fu can whoop any African. I said, oh, I'm on my way. Mind you, I was young man, I was 20 years younger than I am. So I went down to her job and I met the dude. I said, oh, it's you. I said, you the dude I told you before that you do Kung Fu. And you asked me how did I know. He said, yeah. He said, we can't do it here because I can get fired, but I can come up to your place. At this time, I was teaching at the same place I was teaching at this place called NFL YAT. And I said, well, sure, come up there because I have carte blanche to the place. Come up there. He comes, him and my wife come during my lunch break because she want to see it. And I told her, don't set up no dudes like this no more. I want to just hurt folks like this. So he says, I also do Wing Chun. I can do the 1-inch punch. I said, well, hit me with it, baby. Hit me with it. He boom, he hits. He said, oh, you well built. Back then, I was shredded. Boom, it didn't do nothing. I said, oh, that's nice. I said, got a good hit. I said, so I'm gonna hit you with the 1-inch punch myself. I said, because if I step, it'll probably kill you. He said, man, you can't kill me with your African punches. I said, well, I just do the one. I said, but I'm really going to do 1 inch. You did, about 3, 4, 5 inches. I said, I'm just going to do 1 inch for real. Boom! I hit him. And he said, see, that was pretty good. He fell down. He gets back up. Falls again. Start throwing up.
Oh no.
I said, don't do this to these fools no more. I said, don't do this. I said, imagine if it wasn't me, it was Kunle. That's another student. I said, Kunle may have taken from a step from a foot away and hit him and killed that dude. Because Kunle about it. And he'd have been like, this fool and came up to my job to try to embarrass me in front of my wife. Kunle may have put it on him. I just tapped it. And after that, he has his white wife call me. And that's meaningful because you already insulted me. Now you had this white woman call me. If it wasn't his wife, it was still with
that
me.
was to calm you down, about the white woman.
No, she called. She said,
gentle white lamb.
She said, you're not a master because you hurt him. I said, your husband came up, hit me first, then said I couldn't hurt him with my African karate. Well, not my African punches is what it said. I said, so then I hit him from 1 inch and your weak ass, punk ass husband couldn't take it. And that's why he's messed up. She said, I had to take him to the hospital and all that. I said, well, it's good. You didn't have to take him. He did eventually end up getting better. Because they can't do nothing for him. I just disrupted his internal organs for a while. I said, he's made from water, just like you are. I said, so when I hit him, it disrupted the water. We do what's called fluid shock. And it caused fluid shock to his organs. And that's all. They're going to reform themselves after a while. He'll be all right. But you won't be all right if you call me again. I'm going to send my wife your way, and she's going to do that same punch to you. And that was it. Now, mind you, he drew our first African martial, because he called apologizing. He drew our first African martial arts logo. The one behind us by Amosun. Amosun said that drawing was too weak. So he was going to do, so he redid it to the one we have now. I told him the dude's drawing was probably weak because his organs were messed up. And so he couldn't draw it right. But that's from Shaolin Kung Fu. This fool's a Shaolin Kung Fu master, by the way.
That's the moral of the story. The whole moral of the story is Shaolin Kung Fu.
The moral of the story is he's a Shaolin Kung Fu master. He's teaching in Atlanta. Well, he was. I think he's gone now. He was teaching in Atlanta. So all his students, my students knew, all his students had wasted their time with him. Okay. So those are my 3 F's: Aikido, Capoeira, Shaolin Kung Fu. And I know other Shaolin Kung Fu people.
We know other F's.
Who I love, but self-defense wise, their technique is F.
It is what it is, y'all.
So that lets you know what it takes. You say, well, damn, you're in Atlanta. How can I take Ekbel Goon?
Well, you got some alternatives.
Well, I'm going to be traveling around with several students. I plan on doing a warrior class tour where we'll be teaching. That's one thing. When I planned for next year, but now this Omarion version of COVID-19 is out. The Omarion version. You take that shit and make you get along. Right. So I don't know when we can do it, but that's my plan. When everything clears up, we can do that. Okay. So that's one way. But pinchas a lot is probably in your town. A lot of different forms of pinchas a lot, though. I would say take either the Bruneian type from Brunei country, or take Bukti Nagara. You can hear in that Nagara, Negro, basically. It's the black man's form, Bukti Nagara. That's another, and I'm not saying that just because it's a black man's form, that is a very effective form of pinchas a lot from the Detroit's brothers. They're the head of that system. So pinchas a lot. MacP, McMap, do your research. There's some people who teach it. Do your research on that. On all of these, the A's and B's, try to find schools within those. you'll find the people. If you look hard enough for Kali's everywhere.
Yeah.
Like I said, do your research. So you're getting with people who really know what they're doing. If you're in Chicago and you want Kali training, and I think Pinchas a lot too, hit up my boy Michael Appleton. You'll see him on my Facebook. You'll see him on my Instagram. Michael Appleton, you know, you friends with my no belay.
Yeah.
That's my boy. I mean, we've been friends since, you know, teenagers. He used to teach, and I brought him here to teach, you know, Filipino martial arts to my students, right? But he hasn't been teaching lately, isn't feeling well. But he can give you people who teach in Chicago.
I want to shout out also the Tough.
Oh yeah, Tough is in New York. Now those are my boys. They do.
Yeah.
Now, Tough is good with self-defense. It's a combination of different things.
Yeah, if you haven't heard of them, look them up too. The Tough system is a really good, complete, pretty complete what they're doing over there too.
I was gonna ask Baba. I'm glad that you brought this part up. Is there certain questions that you could a few quick questions that you might be able to give to whoever is watching the video, and also, of course, our family that's online, that can help them to vet any schools that they might come in contact with if they're unable to do African martial arts?
Yes. First thing you ask when you go to a school is, what is your don't use questions that can just be answered yes or no. Ask, what is your policy on weapons training? And don't let them say to you, well, what do you like about weapons training? What do you dislike about? They're diverting that question to you.
Mm-hmm.
So they can form a lie.
Line.
Right. So if you say, well, I don't like weapon training. Yeah, we don't do no weapon training. If you say, I love weapon training. Yeah, we get to that in time. They'll do that kind of shit. So instead, don't let them divert. What is your policy on weapon training? And if they try to divert, you say, well, you know, I'm a beginner. That's why I'm asking you.
Mm-hmm.
Let them answer that. If they say, well, you know, all four weapons, you know, we bust them up with head. You don't want to mess with them because they over the board, over the top. And if they say, well, we don't do weapons training, you know, our fists and knees are our weapons, you don't mess with them either.
Oh yeah.
That's a good start.
So they got to be very intelligent in the way in which they're talking. So you ask them that first. If you go to an MMA school or something like that and ask, they'd be like, yeah, we don't use weapons and we can't defend ourselves against weapons and nobody else can either. Stay away. They don't know what they're talking about. So that's the main thing to ask, because that will tell you their mindset when it really comes to self-defense. Okay. If they're telling a woman, well, you don't need weapons, you just use a man's strength against them. Nope. They better be saying, well, a tool is the great equalizer, something to that level. And that's why a woman needs to carry a tool, because a 120-pound woman is not going to outstrength a 250-pound man. It's not going to happen. You're not going to use his strength against him, but he's going to use his strength against you. But you put that tool in your hand, it stop all that shit. When we say skill trumps strength, that's also, you know how to use a tool that trumps his strength. Okay. So you ask that. You also ask, do you all do forms? Those are two. You only got to ask those two questions. Do you all do forms? Oh yeah, you got to learn 308 forms in our system in the first year. Beat it. Get out of there.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, forms is the encyclopedia of the martial arts techniques. Get out of there. Because a form punching in the air cannot teach you timing against a human being. You have to work with the human being. If they do forms plus, if they say, well, forms is to build your coordination, build your physicality, but we work with people to learn to apply that. And we work with people, then ask them, what do you work more, forms or people? With people. It best be with people or get out of there. So basically 2 questions you just got to ask. And that's it.
And for Jadarian in the chat, yes, African Martial Arts has virtual training, and we'll give all the particulars in just a minute.
Now, our manifesto side guest Light Burley for 52. 2 people for 52. They both in Atlanta right now. Light Burley and Wise Morrow. These are 2 masters of 52 blocks. Okay. Light Burley, Wise Morrow. Now, Wise Morrow and his group, which is called 52 Blocks ATL, and Egbe Ogun, we have a relationship where we work a lot together. So I would say go to Wise Morrow, but Light Burley, of course, is great. Wise is actually trained with Light Burley as well. So Light Burley is the person that I have a lot of respect for. He is, because he'll get down and he'll fight anybody that comes to challenge him. He don't care. He gets down, and that's real for him, right? And yes, we do virtual training. Now, somebody said, "What about shackle hands?"
I don't like nothing got nothing to do with shackles.
Now, no, I was gonna say that I answered it. Said, "What about shackle hands?" I'm very familiar with shackle hands, brother. Now, so thank y'all. If you have any other questions, put them in the comments and we will answer. If you want virtual training with us, hit us up on @African Martial Arts on Instagram, and then we'll send you how to do that, or you can look at any of those posts on there, and it tells you how to do that. Basically, you send us the payment. We send you the codes to sign in on Zoom, and then we just add, you show your face when you go on. We got to know who we working with. I don't want, just to be Comrade Arlovsky or some shit. And I'm thinking it's Johnny Robinson.
Yeah. Next thing you know, I got a Russian dude using our lingo in the gas station trying to attack me.
Right, exactly. He's like, "Здравствуйте, как вы понимаете, yo?" He's like, "What the hell is this?" So we got to see you so we know what we're dealing with. All right. Y'all got anything else to say? If not, we can close out.
I'm good, man. We'll see y'all next time. Make sure to share, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, make sure to follow us on Instagram, the Warrior Class BPM.
Donate. African
Martial Arts on Instagram. All right.
And I want to say peace to the family. Sorry about coming in a few minutes late. And I just want to say I'm really glad that we were able to do this particular one live, because I think, people being able to interact with people answering questions is very satisfying for everyone involved. So thank you for being here.
I've been thinking really maybe we'll transition to live.
Yeah, that was the ultimate goal. We always said anyway we wanted to be able to do. Right. So look for more. Hopefully we clear. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully we got that 4K going on.
It looks good. It looks good. Like, okay, all right.
Only better from here. We only gonna get better.
So thank y'all. Be safe out there. Stay black or whatever you are. Love y'all.
Peace.
Peace.
Y'all.
All right.